Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and today we are going to have a look at one of my favorite destinations of all time, and that's the Maldives. FSDG have just released a brand new scenery for not only the airport and the seaplane base, but also for the North and the South Marla atolls, which are just looking really fantastic. Now we are going to take today's opportunity. I know that all of you expect me to fly into here with a 777, and we certainly will, but we are going to take this opportunity to have a look at the Maldives from a little bit close up in the Twin Otter on some VFR flight. So before we start, I would like to thank FSDG for providing me with a copy of the airport, and with that out of the way, let's go ahead and have a look into the scenery itself, and let's have a look into what's going on in all the lovely atolls that we see featured in this scenery. So I'm using the full Maldives package over here with both Velana airports and the seaplane base, as well as the northern and the southern Marla atolls. You can buy them separately if you want to, and there is a bundle package available as well. Alright, so we are going to start this one on the seaplane base, since we will definitely have a look at the international airport, which you can see in the background with a new terminal over here in a dedicated video featuring the 777 and maybe some other aircraft as well. But for now, let's just go ahead and have a quick look over what we can find on the seaplane base here. You can see a lovely level of detail that went into here, and I do believe this is the first full seaplane base that we see in MSFS at a scale like this one. Most certainly Marla has the largest seaplane commercial base that we can find worldwide, and you can just see the amount of Twin Otters you have over here is just insane. And when you look at a couple of those YouTube videos from what's going on in this area in the real world, then it's just insane how they are sometimes queuing up like you otherwise only see airliners queue up at JFK. Now, nonetheless, let's go ahead and move over to our own Twin Otter, and we are going to make a little sightseeing flight, taking a couple of guests to one of the local resorts that's a couple of minutes flight time away. Alright, so this is gonna be our ride for the day. It's the 8 Quebec Mike Alpha X-Ray that we can see swimming over here of Trans-Maldivian Airways. Now let's board the aircraft and a very quick check outside over here, making sure that all the ropes and all the attachments have been released. And likewise we can go to the back of the aircraft and just make sure that the door is securely locked. And, well, if we had any 3D passengers, we could of course give them a briefing. Now in the real world they actually do fly here with a flight attendant, so that's quite cool. You've got this incredibly small aircraft, but they do feature a flight attendant on these flights, even though the flight attendant is mainly there to help with mooring the aircraft. Alright, before we start powering the aircraft up, just the standard caveat over here. Even though I'm hugely enthusiastic about the Twin Otter and water plane operations, I don't have a license, and to be totally fair, I don't have that much of a clue about sea-based operations, so we'll gotta take it from there. Alright then, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and have a little bit of fun. So we are going to start off the battery. DC master can come on, position lights, no smoking, and fasten seatbelts can come on. Light test and stall warning test are looking good. Then we can move forward, do the fire tests. Looking good, making sure that we can actually silence the bell. Looking good as well. Okay, so release that control lock, please. Fuel boost pumps on, both on forward, works. Both on aft, works, and norm. Transponder 7000 will cruise at 1,500 feet today, flying all VFR. And with all of that out of the way, well, first of all, let's gotta make sure we get that fan running. Okay, so with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead, anti-collision light on. Quick look into the cabin, the door is closed, and as you can see, the seatbelt and no smoking signs actually do work in here, which I really appreciate. And remember, this one is coming to FS24 as the default aircraft, so that's really, really cool. Okay, condition levers off, prop levers feathered, and the power levers are in idle. starting right engine. PT6A engine, that means when the gas turbine generator is at 15%, we can inject the fuel. Here we go, 15% it is. Fuel coming on. And something I really appreciate about the Twin Otter is how they implemented the electrical system. So when there is load on the electrical system, you can actually see the lights go more dim, like you can in more modern general aviation study level aircraft. But look at this. So, putting on the left starter here, you can see how everything got quite a bit more dim. Now we'll monitor the lights on the main panel as well, as we're going to start the twatter up. So 15%, fuel on. And now watch the lights closely as the starter is going to disengage at about 45%. And you can see how as soon as there is more power available, they actually do get brighter once again. I really do appreciate these small details. Okay, so generators both on. Then flaps 10. Let's go ahead and prepare our navigation system. So FSDG did not only provide us with Male and the Male seaplane base, but you also have a lot of the resorts from the area models with their respective airstrips. And you can see that they've given them custom ICAO codes down here. And today we're going to fly to that one, VR1 Bravo, which is the Patina Maldives resort. Alright, we're just going to activate a direct over here. Here we go. Making sure our radios are prepared, 1228 and 121.5. Going in down here. And that's looking good. So don't worry, we're not going to fly the direct GPS track, much rather what we are going to do is a little sightseeing along all those islands over here. Okay, transponder coming on as we're about to move, taxi light on, well, pitot heat, it's not like we need it in the Maldives at 30 degrees, but nonetheless. Alright, off we go. So the prop levers are going out of the feather position. Engines are spooling up. And with that, a little bit of forward power and the airplane starts moving. So we steer by asymmetric thrust, so a little bit of forward power on the right, a little bit of reversers on the left, and the airplane starts coming around the corner for us. Just got to remember to take the remaining engine out of reverse early enough in order not to overshoot the turn. That's the whole challenge over here, taxiing that water aircraft. Bye-bye, seaplane base. I do have to say, they made it quite pretty over here, didn't they? I do appreciate how it looks. Okay, a little bit of reversers on the right-hand engine, getting us around the corner over here. So one thing I could unfortunately not find is the buoys for the water runways. So, by the looks of things, I believe we'll just have to take off over here without actually having any of those buoys available and without being able to properly find and identify the runways. But let's just taxi out from the seaplane base over here. You can see the secondary apron of the main Male airport over here with that parked -8, even though I have a feeling that one's parked for a longer while. It doesn't even have a propeller anymore. Okay, I do believe the landing runway is somewhere about here. So that means the takeoff runway gotta be somewhere about here. So let's go ahead and position ourselves over there. So for the takeoff, prop ladders going full forward. Landing lights on. Transponder on alt. Flaps are out at 10. And the lights are all on. Cabin, prepare for departure. Okay, let's give them the bleed as well, even though the plane is unpressurized anyway. Well, and with that, we are good to go. Okay, starting the timer, takeoff. So, pulling it all the way back so that the front of the plane doesn't go underwater over here in case we hit a wave. And as we've got sufficient speed now, relaxing the controls a bit, even pushing a tiny bit forward in order to relax it. Okay, rotate. Unsticking from the water is always a bit of a challenge in the sim, but here we go. Okay, that's the main Mali airport on the left there. Well, and off we go. So, at a safe altitude, flaps up. The entire island, everything you see around here is from the FSDG scenery. And I do have to say, I do really appreciate what it looks like. So, just making sure that we don't overheat the engines here, as they do get rather warm with these outside temperatures. Great job on the new island they created. And that's Mali City back there. And we can already see the first couple of resorts in the area. Alright, reaching 1500 feet, that's gonna be our cruising altitude. Actually slightly overshot already, but well, we were busy with good things, watching out the scenery, and now look at all those lovely atolls and hotels over here. Isn't that just completely lovely? Okay, let's set cruise power. Slightly pull the power out, and prop levers down to 75%, 40% torque, or well, not 40%, but 40 torque, 75% mixture. What am I saying here? 75% RPM, that is. And here we go. So we got to make sure that we stay clear of the clouds, stay VFR at all times in VMC. And here we go. Beautiful looking islands down here, aren't they? And FSDG modeled all that good stuff down here as part of the North Mala Atoll package from the scenery. So if you're interested in only the large airport, you can buy only that. And if you're interested in all those islands as well, which I can really recommend, do get the bundle package. It's really worth it. It really is. You know, that part of the island here looks a little interesting. But just look at all those reefs. Now imagine flying the final approach to Mala down there and just flying across this. I'm sure we're gonna see that in a couple days' time on the channel, but for now just look at this. Very nice models of all those typical Maldivian, well, let's call it hotel rooms here, because that's technically what they are. 140, 150 knots, that's roughly what the Twin Otter is going to give us. Again, beautiful looking scenery down there. I want to go on holidays, man. I really want to go on holidays now. I gotta work on my airline that they give me a lovely Cancun or Punta Cana flight. Well, or maybe Mali? We only fly that one in winter though, so I'm afraid I'll have to live with what I can get for now. And that's the Caribbean. Other side of the world. Yet again, lovely waters. Now when you come for holidays in the Maldives, there's basically two different sets of transport that you can go for. It's either going to be transport by speedboat or transport by airplane. Look at the lovely pool down there. That's quite cool, seeing that in 3D. Now, transport by boat can take a little while from there, while transport by airplane will really get you to any of those atolls within a pretty quick amount of time. Now let's have a look at this one. Couple larger hotels over here, it seems. Also a larger harbor that we have here. What's the altitude alert saying? Okay, descending away a bit. Let's correct for that. So these are the larger islands that we've got very close by to the main island of Mali. Now, let's go ahead and continue a little bit further out to the ocean, and we are going to fly out to some of the little bit more remote places there. So that's going to be track of 007. Flying along the lovely reefs over here, along the outskirts of the North Mala Atoll. Again, everything you see over here comes from the FSDG scenery. I think our destination is probably going to be over there. Just look at this. If you view it from a little bit further of a distance, it, in my opinion, even looks a little bit greater. MSFS seems to have a little bit of a problem here with resolution of underwater satellite images. But if we just fly it out a little bit further away from them, just look at this. That's just beautiful, isn't it? All those little reefs and atolls you find everywhere scattered across the Maldives. Just wonderful, just really, really wonderful. Right, another island coming up. I believe this one actually doesn't have any hotel. Oh no, there are houses in the middle. Those gotta be expensive over here, I guess. I guess that's the premium luxury resorts, isn't it? Okay, so we got about 4.5 minutes remaining to our destination, 11 nautical miles. I do believe I can see it coming up over there. Now, the one thing that is a little bit hard to figure out is where exactly all those docks are located for all the resorts. So I very much recommend that you do your first couple of flights here with a guide, and only thereafter start heading out to all those islands and resorts on your own. Now, it might also be very interesting to do a flight like this in the newly released Piper Cup, because that one is available with a float version as well. definitely something that I want to check out over my next couple of flights, but for now, let's go ahead and fly the real aircraft. Let's fly the, well, does it just say something as modern as the Twin Otter is more real than the Piper Cup? Well, you guys are gonna turn it around against me anyway, so we'll just leave it at that. Beautiful waters down here, aren't they? Okay, 3 minutes remaining to destination. Since the aircraft is unpressurized, and since I'm sure that all of our passengers would come to fly even if they do have a cold, let's go ahead and start a shallow, small descent here. 500 feet a minute. Nose down, trim it out, and down we go. Alright, I do believe our destination is just located on this island over here, and the pier is just in the middle there. But let's go ahead and fly over and have a look. Six miles remaining and 2 minutes. Okay, 2 minutes. That looks like it's either this one or the one behind. I do believe it's the first one over here that we are aiming for. But I'll tell you what we'll do. If we can't make out our destination atoll in time, then we are just simply going to make a flyby. But I do believe this is really it over here. Let's see the GPS. There is actually one airport a little bit further to the south, so we might just be heading that tiny bit further north. Hard to make out. Yeah, thank you GPWS, we'll turn you off. Alright, couple of oil tanks. I do believe this is the storage facilities. So, just look at this. I really want to go to holidays now. I really do. Okay, so let's not overfly the beaches straight away. While our scenery is spawning over there, indeed, this is where we gotta end up in. This is our airport. Always hard to make these out, isn't it? Alright, so I promised you would do that little tour around the island. And once we're done, we're gonna make a little traffic pattern here and come back for a landing right in the middle of the atoll. Another beautiful little island down here. I do believe that one down here is a harbor for our aircraft as well. Okay, so remember, flying VFR, the minimum safe altitude is 500 feet over water. So that is what we are maintaining for now. Getting into a nice downwind position. So that's our atoll, then we'll fly around like this and come back for the landing straight in. Pattern altitude 500 is okay. Luckily there don't seem to be too many birds around here right now. That makes our life easier. I've cancelled the GPWS because, well, obviously we are gonna land on the water, so It doesn't need to tell me that there is terrain ahead. And if we manage to fly into anything over here on the Maldives, then, well, the air cleans itself. That is what they do say, isn't it? Gonna fly back past the island over here, and then we'll land into the coast over here. Imagine doing this in Europe. You'd probably be killed for noise violations all around. Okay, props going full forward, landing lights are still on. And with that, we are prepared for our landing. Let's take a little bit of the power out. Hope it hasn't been too early. It's still a little bit of a challenge to start judging all of the sea-based operations here. I do find it much easier on land, since you can judge whatever is coming up against you much easier. Checked, gotta maintain 500 for now. We'll try not to overfly the islands exactly, so just gotta maintain this. We'll go around the houses over here, and we'll go right over here. And then into the atoll, landing there, stopping right at the back. Now is the moment where I'm going to take some bets as to what is going to happen on this landing. Am I either going to overshoot and beach the airplane, or am I going to roll it over right on the landing? I do promise this is the first attempt at which I'm recording this, so nothing cut out. Okay, flaps 10, flaps 20, and that's going to be our landing flaps. Yeah, continue. This is just crazy, isn't it? Okay, power idle. Let's do this. That's MSFS and its waves for you guys. But here we are. Now comes the most difficult of all of these parts over here. Actually docking that airplane. But look at that turquoise water. That's just... it blows me away, doesn't it? This is just paradise. I really, really love it. Okay then, keep it going. There is one yard over there that we don't want to ram. Now we just gotta try and find that dock. I do believe it is right up there. So welcome to Microsoft Ship Simulator 2020, my friends. Okay, we've got that little baggage, luggage dock up there, and that means we can try and stop the airplane. Okay, both props feather. Yeah, you guys will have to pull us in here. Parking this is definitely not my specialty, but you get the general idea. Okay, generators off, flaps up, taxi light off, pedo light off. Did I say pedo light? Pedo heat, of course. Alright. Bleeds off, transponder off, and with that out of the way, let's shut down the engines. That was an interesting sound effect, I have to admit. Okay, and here we are. Are we sinking? Oh, that looks interesting for sure. That's gotta be some effect they added here to make the water look a bit better from the top. I really don't know, but I have a feeling we're sinking. Alright, well, that's Microsoft Flight Simulator logic for you guys. Nonetheless, I do hope that you enjoyed this little tour around the North Mala Atoll. Now, there is, I believe, 7 or 8 resorts in the northern atoll and 4 or 5 in the southern atoll that you can approach. And I do have to say that I do really enjoy this type of operation over here. Now, for the next one, let's change over to the 777 and we'll see how the commercial operations looks like. And last but not least, if you want to get an idea of what the FSDG Mala sceneries do look like, then I can very much recommend to you to check out the most northerly atoll, which they have actually released for free. You can grab that on fsdg.com, and it is most certainly my recommendation that you are going to have a look at it. There's a small airport down there as well, which Maldivian Airways flies to using the ATR, and well, if you're interested in that flight from Mala down to the northern atoll in the ATR, do let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you very much for watching. Once again, thank you to FSDG for providing my copy of the Mala scenery. And finally, if you're up for more, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And if you really love what I'm doing, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you for watching, and I see you all again on the next one.